anthem, y'all. It looked like Benny spit this boy out. Tiny, you got some explaining to do.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Y'all, the rumors are starting with T.I. It's coming out that King is not his.
King Harris has been blowing up headlines in ways nobody saw coming, and the chaos is only getting heavier by the day. The latest buzz, whispers are spreading that T might not even be King's biological father, a claim that set social media on fire right after the father-son duo had a full-on public clash at an Atlanta Falcons game. Picture it, one of hip-hop's most iconic families, unraveling in real time, shredded by fights, live streams, and jaw-dropping revelations. It all kicked off when King, already infamous for his explosive temper, got caught on Instagram Live going off on some dude in the stands. But instead of cooling down, he kept shouting, "I stand on business," like he was proving some point to the whole world. Ty wasn't about to let that slide. The rapper jumped in, calling his son out for embarrassing the family, telling him he was acting way too hard just to flex. The tension blew through the roof, and in a shocking moment, T put King in a headlock right there in front of everyone. A raw public display meant to remind King who's really in charge of the house. Hours later, King went back on Instagram and didn't hold anything back, throwing shots at his father like, "I don't care who you are. I'm a grown man now. If I was a mistake, just say that." Fans went wild, debating whether this was just a spoiled celebrity kid throwing tantrums or if something darker was really going on beneath the surface. And this wasn't even King's first headline-grabbing meltdown. People still talk about when he disrespected Waffle House workers, treating them like they were beneath him, acting untouchable just because his dad is Ty. Shockingly, instead of checking his son, Ty defended him, which only made King's image as a reckless, entitled kid skyrocket even higher. Then came the infamous homeless man stunt, where King offered $50 if the man could survive eating a banned chip without water for 5 minutes. The guy was clearly struggling, suffering in front of everyone, but King laughed it off like it was a joke, treating real human pain as entertainment. Social media dragged him mercilessly, yet King refused to back down, standing by his actions like admitting fault was beneath him. And now, after the Falcons game meltdown, he's throwing even bigger claims, accusing T of abandoning him in the hood and even being abusive. Many fans immediately dismissed it as clout chasing, pointing out that King grew up in a millionaire's gated estate with every privilege imaginable. King even said, "Okay, so I would say what hurt me would be like, I'm honestly like my mom, being like with Tip all the time," showing just how tangled and messy this family drama has really become.
I mean, this ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Stop talking to him, please.
Who the hell is he?
A person that works.
What's your name?
What's your name?
My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show.
But then the receipts started coming out and they hit hard. Turns out King actually spent most of his childhood living with his grandmother in the hood. Even though his parents had stacks of money, this revelation shocked everyone. King wasn't like the other kids in the neighborhood. He had every luxury thrown at him, but he still wasn't growing up under T's roof. In fact, King admitted that he only really saw his dad when it was time to film their reality show, Family Hustle. Once the camera stopped rolling, he went straight back to his grandmother's house, away from T. And it wasn't just King feeling left out. Reports say none of T's kids actually lived with him full-time. They just popped in for the show. Even Zonique, Tiny's daughter, revealed she spent most of her time with her grandmother while T and Tiny were off traveling and living their best life. Fans were furious, calling out Ty for neglecting his kids behind the scenes while painting a perfect family image on TV. But then, the bombshell dropped. Whispers started swirling that King allegedly told friends T might not even be his biological father. Social media went insane, debates erupted, and now the family drama had officially reached a whole new level of shocking chaos. According to the whispers, that's exactly why King blows up whenever Ty shows him love in public. It feels fake, because behind closed doors their bond isn't real. But things got even messier when photos of a man named B. Anthony went viral online, and fans couldn't ignore the jaw-dropping resemblance between him and King. Social media erupted, buzzing with speculation about whether Tiny had connections to B. Anthony and if this mysterious man could actually be the real father behind King Harris's identity crisis. Suddenly, this wasn't just a story about a rebellious kid acting out. It was about long-buried family secrets, hidden truths, and a young man growing up feeling like an outsider in the very home he was born into, surrounded by fame and fortune, yet somehow left out in the cold. And that's the real tragedy here. King may have been swimming in money, but a childhood split between the hood with his grandmother and the glitzy spotlight of his parents' fame left deep scars. He's left searching for answers, trying to make sense of a life that looks perfect on the surface, but is anything but behind the scenes. The deeper you dig into King Harris's story, the more it reads like a messy reality show playing out in real life. After that explosive Falcons game showdown, the narrative shifted from spoiled celebrity kid to unraveling family secrets, and now fans, insiders, and even casual observers can't stop dissecting every clip, every post, and every whispered rumor, trying to piece together what really happened. On the flip side, footage and family accounts tell a story that hits just as hard. King really did spend the bulk of his childhood in the hood with his grandmother.
I would say what hurt me would be like, I'm honestly like my mom being like with Tip all the time.
Damn.
Like,
Timestamp that.
not
I
times
got
that.
you.
That I feel
I
like
got you.
even now and today, like that's how it is. Like they're just tied to the hip. But now I'm grown, so it's like I can't really. But it's like they rather go places with each other. So anytime he gotta go, she gotta go. She gotta go, he go. It's just like.
While his time with T felt more like rare TV appearances than a real father-son bond. That alone was enough to spark tension, but throw in the whispers that T might not even be his biological father. And the situation instantly detonates into full-blown scandal. King's explosive outburst, like when he shouted, "Stop making the world think you with me when you don't," take on a whole new weight if people start believing there's truth behind the rumors. And of course, the internet went berserk. Social media detectives jumped on the case, pulling up side-by-side comparisons of B. Anthony and King Harris. The resemblance is jaw-dropping. Fans flooded platforms with posts screaming, "Y'all telling me this ain't King's real daddy?" And the comment sections turned into pure chaos. But here's the wildest twist. Tiny, King's mom, has never publicly addressed the connection, leaving the speculation to spiral out of control. If she had stepped in with a firm denial, maybe the rumors would have cooled down, but her silence only poured gasoline on the fire, making this scandal one of the juiciest, most talked about family mysteries in hip-hop right now. Meanwhile, King isn't doing himself any favors with the way he moves in public. From disrespecting Waffle House workers to pulling that cruel chip challenge stunt on a homeless man, his actions keep painting him as a reckless kid chasing clout rather than a young man trying to find his own voice. Critics argue he's constantly acting out just to trend, using shock value to boost his rap career. But others see something deeper. Pain spilling out from a childhood without a stable father figure, a young man constantly fighting to prove he can survive on his own. You can feel that inner struggle every time he screams, "I stand on business." It's like armor, a shield to hide behind. It's almost heartbreaking when you watch it. It's not just strangers he's trying to impress, it's his own father. The Falcons game made that painfully obvious. King shouting, T stepping in, and the headlock that instantly became the meme of the week. To the public, it looked like discipline gone wrong, a father losing control. But if you read between the lines, it's way more complicated. King's rage, T's reaction, the fame, the money, the whispers about his real father, it all mixes into this explosive, messy, and very human drama that no camera can fully capture. The whole world got a front row seat to a fight that's as emotional as it is chaotic. To King, that Falcons game wasn't just a public scolding, it felt like pure humiliation. That's why his Instagram rant afterward cut so deep, hitting the internet with a mix of pain and defiance. He basically laid it all out, telling the world he feels like a mistake a kid only noticed when cameras are rolling, not out of real love. And King isn't the only one carrying wounds. Zonique once revealed she spent most of her childhood with her grandmother because her mom and T were always off traveling, chasing their careers and empire-building dreams. That paints a picture of parents who were building a legacy while their kids had to navigate life without consistent guidance or emotional support. Fans who grew up watching Family Hustle are now realizing the glossy, perfect family they fell in love with on VH1 might have been more smoke and mirrors than reality. And that revelation stings hard because people invested years of trust and admiration in that image, believing in a happy family that maybe never fully existed behind the cameras. The contrast between what fans saw and what the kids actually experienced makes the drama feel even messier, more heartbreaking, and painfully real for anyone following this saga. What really takes this drama to a whole new level is how T has been handling it, or sometimes not handling it at all. One minute he's defending King, like during that Waffle House incident, brushing off his son's disrespect as if it's no big deal. The next minute he's publicly checking him, like at the Falcons game, leaving King feeling targeted and humiliated in front of everyone. That kind of inconsistency only widens the rift between them. Then you add the explosive rumor about King's paternity, and suddenly every move, every gesture, every hug feels loaded with suspicion. When T shows affection on camera, critics call it fake. When King erupts, they say he's exposing the truth. It's a non-stop cycle of mistrust, playing out in real time for the world to watch. And don't think the rap world hasn't noticed. King's music career is getting buried under all this family chaos. Instead of judging him for his bars, fans and critics are questioning whether he's really from the streets, whether he's spoiled, and even whether T is actually his father. The skepticism is crushing, shaping his public image before his talent even gets a chance to shine. Some call it the curse of growing up with celebrity parents. No matter what you do, the public already has a story written for you. But in King's case, that story is being written with whispers of betrayal, absent parenting, and identity questions so heavy they could crush a young artist still trying to carve out his own lane. Now, the big question is, where does King Harris go from here? His story has exploded into more than just family drama. It's become a full-blown case study in what happens when fame, fortune, and broken bonds collide. On paper, King should have had the perfect life. His dad is a legendary rapper, his mom a successful singer, and the Harris name carries weight across the culture. But reality paints a very different picture. Growing up straddling two worlds, the hood with his grandmother and the relentless spotlight of T and Tiny's fame, left King trapped in an identity crisis that keeps spilling out in public. One day, he's flexing his status as a rapper's son, soaking in all the attention. The next, he's trying to prove he's a product of the struggle, showing the world a side that clashes with his privilege. That contradiction confuses fans. But it also explains why King lashes out. He's desperate to craft a story that feels true to him, even if it doesn't line up with the life everyone thinks he had. And that search for authenticity might be why he gravitates toward conflict and chaos. It keeps all eyes on him while he sorts out who he really is. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room, the rumor that T might not be his biological father. True or not, that whisper has already warped how the public sees every interaction between them. Being told the world sees T as your father while feeling abandoned or ignored behind the scenes is enough to ignite the kind of anger we keep witnessing from King. And when you add the striking resemblance between King and B, Anthony into the mix, it's like pouring gasoline on an already roaring fire. People finally had something tangible to latch onto, something that seemed like proof. In today's internet era, once fans start believing a story, it spreads like wildfire. Every move King makes is now under the microscope, not just as a young rapper trying to rise, but as a son trapped in a tangled web of family secrets and public scrutiny. That's a heavy burden for anyone, especially someone still trying to carve out their own lane in the music world. But here's the flip side. Scandals like this can either bury a career or launch it to new heights. Some artists take controversy and pain and flip it into raw art, creating music that hits fans on a personal level because it's authentic, it's real. If King leans into the raw truth of his story, growing up without his father's presence, feeling abandoned, fighting for respect, wrestling with identity, he could turn this chaos into fuel that sets him apart. This is a chance to transform the public's curiosity, the rumors, and even the criticism into a unique voice in hip-hop, one that's both fearless and undeniably real. Every hug, every argument, every Instagram rant is filtered through the lens of doubt. If King truly believes Ty isn't his dad, then his rebellious behavior starts to look less like immature outbursts and more like the deep resentment of a child who's been emotionally neglected for years. Think about it. Every time he lashes out, it's not just a scene for the internet. It's a cry from a young man wrestling with betrayal, identity, and a family that looks perfect on TV but feels broken behind closed doors. If T truly wants to mend things with King, he has to step up beyond TV appearances and public gestures. The headlocks, the Instagram call-outs, and public discipline only dig the wounds deeper. What King seems to crave most is consistency, real love, and guidance behind the cameras, not just for the world to watch. Whether T is his biological father or not, he still has a chance to show up as the man King can lean on, instead of the figure King feels he has to constantly fight against. Because let's be real, a father-son bond isn't just about blood. It's about presence, respect, trust, and showing up when it counts. Until that happens, though, the drama is going to keep boiling, and the headlines will keep coming. Fans are hooked because this story is raw, messy, and unpredictable, layered with secrets that everyone wants to unpack. The Harris family may have tried to present themselves as picture perfect on TV, but now the cracks are showing for the world to see. King's future is hanging in the balance, and whether he rises as a respected artist or becomes another cautionary tale depends on the choices he makes next. One thing is certain. This is far from the last we'll hear about King Harris, Ty, and the family drama that refuses to stay behind closed doors. So, what do you think about King Harris's situation? Is this reckless behavior or is it a cry for help? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, share this video with your people, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next update.